Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. President Buhari reaffirms resolve to continue fights to rid Nigeria of corrupt leaders as the APC leadership storms Osogbo to support party's candidate for Saturday's governorship election in Osun State. Opposition PDP kicks against INEC's ban on use of smartphones at polling booths in Osun election as INEC insists decision is to ensure a credible poll. Bring Back Our Girls group and the International Committee of the Red Cross appeal for the rescue of all persons abducted by Boko Haram following the killing of an aid worker by the terror group. And China slams $60 billion tariff on US after the Trump administration announced its biggest trade tariff against China. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app has an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow the instructions. Pensioners of the liquidated national carrier Nigeria Airways have protested against the non-payment of their salaries 15 years after the airline stopped operations in 2003. The protesters who took their demonstration to the Ministry of Finance barricaded the entrance of the ministry, preventing some of the staff from gaining entrance. The Senate had in July this year approved the payment of 45 billion naira to settle the terminal benefits of the Nigeria Airways pensioners, but the protesters say the approval has not been implemented.
Call it 15 years of agitation, pain and protest, and you may not be wrong. Pensioners of the defunct Nigeria Airways in Abuja are on the street again to protest the non-payment of their terminal benefits 15 years after the national carrier stopped flying. This time around, the protesters barricade the entrance to the Ministry of Finance in Abuja, displaying placards with bold inscriptions explaining the reasons behind the protest as they sing solidarity songs.
We've been agitating, we've been begging, we've been writing letters. This is our second time here. December 19th last year we were here. And they promised us that it will be attended to. They said they will be paid latest Easter. By Easter, there was no news, nothing. We've waited enough, we've been patriotic, we've been patient. Our members are dying almost daily. So we are here today to demand for our payment, and we may not leave here until we are paid.
The federal government had severally assured the pensioners that their plight would be looked into. For instance, the Federal Executive Council on the 20th of September 2017 approved the payment of their terminal benefits.
Liquidate Nigeria Airways.
The Senate also approved 45 billion naira for this purpose in July this year. Yet, none of those approvals have been executed.
We will now begin to look at how to...
However, the federal government insists it has not totally abandoned them.
Let me be briefed, and then we'll fix a meeting. And of course, we have to take stock of what is possible in this year and then subsequently. And then we'll arrange for a meeting with your leadership. Not a meeting like this on the road. It's not a good one, but a meeting that will sit down on the table and discuss. We will show you also the challenges that we have, and we hope you will give us your understanding.
The Nigeria Airways was founded in 1958 after the dissolution of the West African Airways Corporation. It finally ceased operations in 2003. Since then, most of the pensioners have been agitating for their unpaid emoluments.
The Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, is presiding over a special meeting of the Economic Management Team to consider the 2019 federal government budget ahead of its presentation to the Federal Executive Council. The meeting, which is taking place at the conference room of the Vice President's office, is being attended by the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udoma, Minister of Trade and Investment, Mr. Okechukwu Enelama, and the newly appointed Supervising Minister of Finance, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed. Others in the meeting include the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Mr. Ibeka Chiku, as well as top government officials from the ministries, departments and agencies of government. The meeting also discusses the proposed new minimum wage. The Labour Minister had told State House correspondents that the special meeting will consider the proposed new minimum wage. The Bring Back Our Girls group has condemned the brutal killing of Saifura Hossa, one of the 3 abducted aid workers in Borno State by Boko Haram insurgents. One of the conveners of the group, Mrs. Obi Ezekwesili, made the condemnation after a solidarity meeting with the International Committee of the Red Cross in Abuja. The group is also calling on the federal government to hurriedly rescue the 2 remaining aid workers, Hawa Liman and Alice Loksha, still in the custody of Boko Haram, including the remaining Dapchi schoolgirl Leah Sharibu and other Chibok girls. Our correspondent Terry Ikumi reports.
BBOG, BBOG, BBOG.
The brutal murder of Saifura Kosa, an aid worker with the International Red Cross by the Boko Haram group in northeastern Nigeria, has been condemned around the world. On the 1st of March 2018, the terrorist group Boko Haram abducted 2 female staff of the International Red Cross, Saifura Kosa, Hawa Liman, and a nurse working in a UNICEF support center, Alice Loksha. Saifura's murder came barely a month after Boko Haram released photos and an audio recording of the 3 abducted female aid workers, pleading with the Nigerian government to quickly come to their rescue.
Help us! We are the 3 nurse midwives that was captured in Ran, Kalabalge on 1st of March 2018.
Following her death, the Bring Back Our Girls group pays a condolence visit to the International Committee of the Red Cross, ICRC, urging them to demand the release of the 2 remaining aid workers from the federal government.
Their life must be so important to us that our government will do everything possible to make sure that those 2 women return, to make sure that Leah Sharibu returns, to make sure that our 112 Chibok girls return.
I would like to appeal to those who are holding and who can decide about the fate of Alice and Hawa, to let them return to their families. Their families need them. Their friends and colleagues need them. And all those people in the northeast of Nigeria who need health services need health professionals like themselves.
25-year-old Saifura, like other aid workers, moved to Ran in Borno State to help at the internally displaced people's camp. The Red Cross is pleading for respect for the family's privacy.
We are counting on you that should you come across any gory images, that you will think of the families and use your sense of professionalism in dealing with such images.
With time running out, the pressure on the Nigerian government to rescue the 2 remaining aid workers and the last Dapchi schoolgirl will continue to mount as the terrorist group threatens to execute them. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
A worrying development indeed. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Army authorities say troops of Operation Lafia Dole have neutralized 5 Boko Haram terrorists in the border villages of Yabiri Kote and Bulla Dabobe of Bama local government area in Borno State. According to a statement by the Director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Texas Chukwu, the military onslaught on the insurgents was a joint trans-border operation between Nigerian Army and the troops of the Cameroonian Defense Forces. The statement adds that the operations, nicknamed Operation Rainbow 15, came on the heels of the discovery of makeshift bases established by the terrorists in Yabiri Kote and Bulla Dadode, from where they launched attacks on villages in Cameroon and Nigeria. Several arms and ammunition were also recovered from the insurgents. While staying with security issues elsewhere, the Kaduna Police Command has confirmed the abduction of 3 lecturers of the Shehu Idris College of Health in Makarfi local government area of the state by gunmen suspected to be kidnappers. The lecturers, according to the spokesman of the command, DSP Yakubu Sabo, were abducted on Monday night on their way to Makarfi from Zaria in Kaduna North Senatorial District. He disclosed that among the kidnapped lecturers are 2 women and 1 man, all staff of the College of Health. The police spokesperson also explained that the command's anti-kidnapping squad has launched a manhunt for the kidnappers to ensure that the victims are rescued. On that note, let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Ibrahim Adra. Ibrahim.
Hello, Ijama. Good to see you as always. Now, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge, has again harped on the need for judges in the country to avoid corruption in the discharge of their duties and ensure that decisions made, particularly in political matters, are based on merit and not influenced by external forces. The CJN, who was represented by Justice Inyang Okoro at the opening of the 34th Annual Judges Conference of the Federal High Court, said the judges, through their judgments, should ensure that democracy is enthroned in the country. He says with the forthcoming 2019 general elections, the courts will be flooded with litigation, and as such, judges must stand against corruption in all ramifications in the cases that will be assigned to them. The CJN further asked the jurists to perform their judicial functions in line with the provisions of Section 251 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, stressing that judges must rise to the coming challenges by cleaning up their houses and dump the toga of corruption. To some political stories now. The Kano State House of Assembly has confirmed Nasiru Gawuna as the new deputy governor of the state. Gawuna, until his appointment, was the State Commissioner of Agriculture and Natural Resources. He replaced Professor Hafiz Abubakar, who resigned from office 2 months ago. Mr. Gawuna was confirmed by the 2/3 majority of the State House of Assembly as mandated by the Nigerian Constitution. He is to be sworn in by the State Attorney General and the leader of the government. Mr. Gawuna is assuring the people of Kano State that the confidence reposed in him will be highly respected in accordance with democratic values. The senator representing Yobe East in the National Assembly, Bukar Ibrahim, has announced his withdrawal from the race for senator in the 2019 elections for the state governor, Ibrahim Gaidam. The former Yobe state governor made the announcement during a meeting of leaders of the state in the All Progressive Congress at the Governor's Lodge, Asokoro, Abuja. The senator said his decision to withdraw from the race is informed by his promise, which he made earlier, to never contest for the Senate if and when Governor Gaidam declares an interest to contest. The meeting also agreed to support the aspiration of the APC National Secretary, Mr. Malabuni, for the governorship position of the state.
As we all know, this is a season, political season, and we have been having series of meetings. Some of them covered by the press, others we did it in camera. But at the end of it all, what we have come to conclude, just like our constitution, there was no way we could have brought the whole of Yobe State to Abuja to make this kind of announcement. But the fact of the matter is, from all indications, we are now totally agreed on what I have just shown. The same goes for other elective offices as well, details of which you will get from the press secretary later. So this is our incoming governor, inshallah. This is our incoming senator for Yobe East Senatorial District. This small man here continues to be the father of Yobe politics. And as a father, it's my responsibility to keep the family going. Yes. And when you're keeping a family going, you're bound to make sacrifices. And you're bound to talk to your family collectively and individually so that things will go on.
And when the news at 10 returns, federal government sells 21% of its holding in the Security Printing and Minting Company to the Central Bank of Nigeria for 12.4 billion naira. That's on Business News. Do join us again.